What's up, guys? I have quite a few iPad accessories to show you guys, so let's just jump right into it. So, the device I'm rocking, so this is the 2020 iPad Pro 12.9-inch version, 256 gigs. I have an unboxing of this if you want to check it out. So this is the device that I'm going to accessorize. So I'm going to start with the basic ones, just to get those out of the way. These are kind of the typical accessories that you might find. So these are the first party accessories that you can get from Apple themselves. So obviously, the first thing is the Apple Pencil. If you are a student or you take notes, then you definitely need to pick this up for your iPad. It is a really great writing experience, especially in the iPad Pros with that ProMotion display. After 20 hertz refresh rate, it is an incredibly good writing experience. But in general, it's a good writing experience anyway. But Apple Pencil, definitely have to pick that up if you are going to be taking notes. The second thing I have is a case for the iPad Pro. So this case here, this is the Zetotop case for the iPad Pro, and it is the one that is going to fit the 2020 version because it has that bigger camera module. So this type of case is kind of like maybe one of the smart folio cases that Apple sells, and the way it works is that it's magnetic. So you just put the iPad in there and it attaches magnetically, and then you can close it up. So it's not going to protect your sides here, those are going to be left open, but it is going to protect the front, like the screen, and the back. So the reason why I have this case is because when I'm taking notes and I'm putting my iPad down on a surface, I don't want the back of the iPad to get scratched up, and also if I'm carrying it around, I don't want the screen to break either or to get scuffed up. So you put it in here, and then you can go ahead and write really nicely using the Apple Pencil. And since it is one of these cases like the knockoff versions of this tri-fold case that Apple's been making for a long time, you can put it at an angle like this and write like this if you prefer. And that also means you can stand it up like this if you need to watch video or have it up next to you or something like that. So it's a really cheap case. I've been using it for a while so far, for a couple weeks, and I think it works really well. So definitely worthwhile, and I think it's always a good idea to protect your iPad, especially because these are pretty expensive. Okay, so the next accessory I have is the Magic Keyboard. So not everyone is going to need this accessory at all, but if you do want to have a good typing experience with your iPad, then the Magic Keyboard is definitely the way to go. Especially with a trackpad, I think it really changes the way I use the iPad. But the downside about this keyboard is that you can't fold it all the way back. It only folds here. So you can close it like this, and then you can open it, but then it stops there. So it's really hard to take notes, handwritten notes, using the Magic Keyboard. So what I've been doing so far is I've just been switching them between these two cases, and it's a little bit of a hassle, but it's not too big of a deal because everything just comes off pretty easily with the magnets. So I just magnetically take that off, and then I magnetically throw it onto the keyboard, and then I'm good to go. And when I use the keyboard, then it's really easy to use. I get to use the trackpad and everything. And then when I want to take the iPad somewhere else, when I'm going to take handwritten notes, I can just easily pull it off and toss it back into this case. So another reason why I like using this Zetotop case instead of the Magic Keyboard when I'm carrying things around is because, first of all, this keyboard is really expensive. It's $350, and it scuffs really easily because of the material they use. So it gets a lot of white specks on it and stuff that you can already see here. So I don't want to, have it scuff that easily. And so instead of carrying this around with me everywhere, I just put it in this case, because even if this case falls apart, it's really cheap. So it's really not that big of a deal. I can easily replace this and I'll be totally fine. On the other hand, this thing, I don't want it looking all scuffed up and worn after just a little bit of using it, because it's going to cost a lot of money to replace it too. So that's why I usually keep it in this case, but when I need to use it with the keyboard, and I have very specific use cases when I need to use it with the keyboard, so it's not like I need it with the keyboard all the time, then I take it out of here and I just put it onto the Magic Keyboard, and it's a really seamless process. It takes like an extra step, but it's all magnets, so it's not that hard to really do. All right, and then one more peripheral that I recommend using with the iPad, especially when it's in the Magic Keyboard, is an external mouse. So if you notice, the trackpad on the Magic Keyboard is not the biggest, so sometimes it can get a little bit cramped, and I already used this MX Master 3, with my laptop, and since it can pair to 3 devices, it's really easy to switch it using this button here between your iPad and your Mac by switching between the 3 devices that you have paired with it. So I only have it paired with my Mac and my iPad, and if I want to use a nicer mouse or have a better cursor experience on the iPad, sometimes I use the MX Master because it's a lot more comfortable than the trackpad on the Magic Keyboard, and it's just easier. Also, if your iPad is like far away from you and you want to control it with a cursor, then you can just use this wireless mouse to control it, and it's pretty easy. But you don't have to use a Logitech MX Master. You can use any wireless mouse, any Bluetooth wireless mouse that is, to connect to your iPad, and it's a pretty good experience. It's not a perfect experience with this. It's not as fluid as the trackpad, but it's still a pretty decent experience for sure. Okay, next up I have some power accessories. So this here is the RAV Power 90 watt 2-port wall charger, and what it has is 2 USB-C ports on it, and it's 90 watt capable. So the iPad actually is limited to a 30 watt charge. So this shouldn't be damaging your iPad in any way because the iPad limits itself to 30 watts anyway. But the good thing about this is I'm going to be using this as a travel charger, and if you own a MacBook as well, then you can also use this to charge your MacBook because it's 90 watts. So you can just carry around this one thing and you can charge your iPad and your MacBook, and if you have a USB-C type phone, you can charge that as well. But you'll notice I actually have an iPhone, so I also need this, which is a USB-C to Lightning connector. So this cable will allow me to plug in a Lightning cable into this one because this only has USB-C. But now I can charge my iPhone and my iPad when I'm on the go just using this brick. And the good thing about this RAV Power charging brick is that it comes with a USB-C cable. So the charging brick that comes with the iPad is 18 watts, I believe, which is quite a bit of power, but if you can really maximize your charging power for your device, that's usually better because then it'll charge faster, which is an issue that I do have with the iPad, is that it does take a while to charge. So using a bigger wattage power brick should fix that. And it comes with a USB-C to USB-C connector, so I don't have to use the charger that came with the iPad, and I can leave that in the box, which is good if I ever want to sell this iPad with the original accessories that it came with. Okay, so let's open up this USB-C to Lightning cable. Here we go. So this is 1 meter, so that should be quite big enough for me. And like I said, so now when I travel or when I'm carrying these chargers in my bag when I'm going to class and stuff like that, I only need to carry this wall adapter here and these 2 cables to charge my iPhone and my iPad, instead of having to carry 2 separate adapters, wall chargers, like wall plugs, and 2 separate cables. I'm just going to carry this one and these 2 cables. I wish iPhone would charge with USB-C, but I doubt that's ever going to happen now, so this is what I have to deal with in the meantime. So as I mentioned, this Zito top case doesn't protect the sides. So when you're putting it in your bag, you want to be careful that the sides of your device aren't going to get scratched or worn. And in order to fix that, I purchased this. This is the JetTech laptop sleeve, and it is a 13.3-inch laptop sleeve, so it should be able to fit the iPad when it's also in the Magic Keyboard, and we're going to actually test that out now. So I got it in this nice red color, and when the iPad is in the Magic Keyboard, or even when it's not, it's kind of more like a laptop, right? Because in terms of how you need to protect it, because only the screen is protected and the back is protected, but the sides are not protected. So what you can do is you can slip this right into your bag and you'll have a nice protection. You can see in here there's some nice foam here that is pretty thick, and then you get a secondary pocket inside here, which is good to fit maybe this charger I bought and the cables. They should be able to fit in there, no problem. Or if you don't want to put that there, maybe you can slip the Apple Pencil in there and that will be protected too. Or like a mouse or something like that. So without the Magic Keyboard, obviously this fits really easily. There's plenty of space on both sides. This is definitely going to stay really protected. But with the Magic Keyboard, let's see what that looks like. All right, so we'll go ahead and pull the iPad out of this, and then we'll just stick it onto the Magic Keyboard, and then we'll go ahead and close it. So you can see it's quite a bit of a thicker package like that. So we have to make sure it fits in this, and it fits perfectly. There's still plenty of room. It fits really well. And the zippers are not rubbing up against the device when I'm closing it, so that's good. It fits really nicely in there. And now I can throw those into my bag and know that it'll be nice and protected. The only problem I have with this, and I knew this going into it, but I have to pull out the whole thing now from my backpack when I want to open it. I have another laptop sleeve where where the zipper comes all the way around here. So I can just open the zipper up to here and then reach in and slide it out. But since the zipper doesn't start until here, I actually have to zip it all the way open when I'm pulling it out of my bag. Because my bag, it'll go in like this, not like this. So hopefully that makes some sense. So there we have it. Those are all the accessories that I'm using with my iPad Pro. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys using similar accessories? What accessories do you recommend? I am interested to hear all about that in the comment section down below. Hopefully this was enjoyable and gives you a sense of what you can do to really maximize the productivity you can have and the pleasure you can enjoy with your iPad Pro. And that is going to wrap it up, and I will see you in the next one.